Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In today's ASMR video, we are going to use the World Book and take a look at some interesting countries around the world and then some facts about them. I'm going to go rogue because I usually pick one from each continent, but I can't remember which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. So I'm just going to go wherever I want to. Nicaragua looks fun. I don't remember reading that. Okay, we'll do like maybe 4 or 5. See how it goes. I hope you learn something new and fun in this video. But primarily it should be relaxing. Let's get started. So Nicaragua, which is located here, this is the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, and down here is Colombia, this is Panama. So Nicaragua's here, Nicaragua. This is the flag of Nicaragua with the pyramid in the middle. It says capital, Managua. Official language is Spanish, el español. Currency is Cordoba. Really? Population is 6.2 million, which is actually like double the amount of people that live in my country of Wales. And the area is 119,000 square kilometres. A quick fact. Nicaragua's coast is known as the Mosquito Coast, not after the insects, but after the local Mosquito people. Also, as you can see, it has coastlines on both seas. I mean, this is the Caribbean, but it leads to the Atlantic, and that's the Pacific. Known as the land of lakes and volcanoes, Nicaragua is the largest country in Central America. It has coasts on both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Most of the people here identify as mestizo, tracing their heritage to both Spanish colonists and the many indigenous tribes who first inhabited the land. Mestizo is a word in Spanish that means mixed. Protected places. Much of Nicaragua is covered in forests, which have been protected in a network of reserves and refuges to provide a haven for wildlife. Good. The Bosawas Biosphere Reserve in the north of the country covers around 7% of Nicaragua's territory, making it the second largest stretch of rainforest in the Americas after the Amazon. Wow. Biodiversity check. Mammal species 180. Reptile and amphibian species 240. Bird species 700. That's incredible. New volcano. Nicaragua has 19 volcanoes. It's quite greedy, really, when you think about it. The newest is Cerro Negro, which first appeared in 1850 and has erupted several times since. Despite the dangers of being so close to an active volcano, many people flock here to take part in the extreme sport of volcano boarding, hurtling down the fine snow-like ash on the volcano sides on a sledge. Lake Nicaragua. The southwest of the country is dominated by Lake Nicaragua, the largest lake in Central America. Its waters are home to numerous fish, including bull sharks, the only sharks found in fresh water lakes anywhere in the world. Nicaragua gained independence from the Spanish Empire on the 15th of September 1821. So they've just had their centenary then, a couple of years ago. Let's look at St. Lucia then. St. Lucia is here. It's tiny. It's in this archipelago of islands, all of which are different countries. This is Venezuela, and that is Cuba. So this is the flag. It's quite a nice one actually, isn't it? You should remember those two peaks there. We'll talk about them in a second. So the capital is Castries. Official language is English. Currency is the East Caribbean dollar. Population is just 166,500 people. And the area is only a tiny 606 square kilometers. St. Lucia's national dish is green figs and saltfish. Dozens of countries are named after men, but St. Lucia is the only one named after a woman. Sexism. St. Lucia, one of the most popular holiday destinations in the Caribbean. This lush island is a peaceful paradise. Sandy beaches ring a mountainous interior thick with forest and banana plantations. Gros and Petit. On the south-western coast of the island are St. Lucia's most famous natural sites, two pointed volcanic plugs. Giant lumps of rock that form inside the mouths of volcanoes. Known as Gros Piton and Petit Piton, the two peaks have become a symbol of the nation. They even feature on its flag. Okay, now I've done so many of these in the past. I've definitely done Ireland, definitely done Wales. I must have done France, surely. Do you know what? I don't think I have, which is kind of shocking. Okay. Here is France, La France. Here's the tricolore, the flag. Key facts: capital Paris. Official language is French. Currency euro. Population 67.8 million. And area is 549,970 square kilometers. I wonder if that's the overall or just metropolitan France, because technically its overseas territories are also France. Okay, most years France is the world's most visited country, with millions flocking here to sample the cuisine, wine and culture. Its scenery includes mountains, Mediterranean beaches, big cities, giant chateaux or castles, traditional villages and seemingly endless fields of lavender and sunflowers. Vive la France. Tackling the tower. God, I've been up this tower so many times on school trips. Almost everyone who goes to Paris finds themselves visiting the Eiffel Tower. The giant metal tower was built in 1889 to commemorate the French Revolution, which had overthrown the country's monarchy 100 years earlier. It's 324 meters high, and there are two elevators taking you up to platforms for great views out over the city. If you're feeling fit, you could try the stairs, but be warned, there are 1,665 of them. It's considered unlucky to place a baguette upside down on a table in France. Best eat it instead. That staple of French cuisine, the croissant, was actually invented in Austria. Bread and cakes. Whenever I go to France, I always have like a carb sort of coma. I just can't resist the bread there. I don't know how French people can do it. The French are famed for their love of food. Paris alone boasts over 30,000 bakeries and more than 40,000 restaurants, ranging from simple street corner bistros to high-end establishments. One thing that nearly all French people have in common is their love of bread. 320 baguettes are eaten per second. France is one of the world's largest wine producers, turning out 8 billion bottles a year. The beginning of ballooning. The hot air balloon was invented by the Montgolfier brothers in the late 18th century. The French brothers tested their invention by sending a sheep, a duck and a rooster up into the sky. When the slightly confused animals landed successfully, the brothers followed this a couple of months later with the first successful manned flight. Paris was founded in the 3rd century by the Romans, who called it Lucia, meaning place by a swamp. The Tour de France. The world's most prestigious, not to say arduous, cycle race takes place across France every summer. First held in 1903, the Tour de France covers a 3,500 kilometre route across the country and sometimes beyond, split in 2 stages over 23 days. The winner, following the final stage in Paris, is awarded the iconic yellow jersey. This is what I was talking about there. France overseas. France once controlled a large empire. Many of the countries that once formed that empire are now independent, but some have remained attached to France. French Guiana in South America, Guadeloupe and Martinique in the Caribbean, and Réunion and Mayotte in the Indian Ocean. French Film Festival. Since 1946, France has held a film festival in Cannes, a resort on the country's sun-kissed southern coast, known as the French Riviera. Hundreds of films from across the world are shown during the 2-week festival, which usually takes place in early summer. The one judged to be best is awarded the Palme d'Or, the Golden Palm. Masses of art. I have seen the Mona Lisa. It's tiny, it's like the size of this half of the book. You think it's going to be massive and it's really small. The Louvre, housed in a former royal palace in the centre of Paris. Did I say palace? Palace in the centre of Paris is the world's largest art museum. It covers an area of over 70,000 square metres. That's about as big as 280 tennis courts. It holds numerous priceless relics, including what must be surely the most famous picture in the world, the Mona Lisa, painted by the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci in 1503. Which land? I think I've done that before. Spain and Portugal, I've almost certainly done before. Should we do Bosnia? Okay, Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is located here, just across the water from Italy. Here's the flag. Key facts: Sarajevo is the capital. Official languages are Bosnian, Serbian and Croatian. The Bosnian mark is the currency. It has a population of 3.8 million and an area of 51,187 square kilometers. Locals speak 3 official languages, Bosnian, Serbian and Croatian. Each is a variant of the same language. They would not agree with you. They're different languages, but mutually understandable. The country suffered greatly in the Bosnian War of 92 to 95, as its people tried to break free of Yugoslavia, the former country made up of what is now Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia and Serbia. Today it's a peaceful place of rivers and lakes, mosques, markets and coffee shops. Iconic bridge. The Stari Most, the old bridge, in the city of Mostar, was originally built in the mid-1500s. Sadly, the arched construction was destroyed in 93 during the war, but with the help of international donations, it has been rebuilt, using building techniques similar to those of the 16th century. In summer, a competition is held where daredevil divers plunge the 20 meters from the top of the bridge down into the icy Neretva river below. Gabon. So Gabon is here, Nigeria is there, and which one? Is that one Cameroon? So it's just there, look. Or maybe that's Cameroon actually, sorry. So key facts: Libreville is the capital, French is the language, Central African CFA franc is the currency, 2.2 million, area 257,000 square kilometers. With an estimated 85% of the country covered in forest, you're never far from nature in Gabon. It's one of the most prosperous nations in sub-Saharan Africa, with plentiful reserves of gold, uranium, and, perhaps the most precious reserve of all, wildlife. Wildlife on the beach. Many large animals hide away in Gabon's jungles, including forest elephants, buffalo, antelope, monkeys, leopards, crocodiles, and more. Wildlife spotting opportunities are sometimes best at the forest edge. Loango National Park has 175 kilometers of uninhabited coast where, in places, the forest comes right down to the shoreline. It's occasionally possible to see gorillas strolling along the beach or hippos playing in the surf here. In fact, Gabon is home to around 80% of the world's entire wild gorilla population. Making masks. Gabon is well known for its carved wooden masks, which are used for religious ceremonies and during festivities to mark major life events such as births, marriages and funerals. Each of the country's 40 ethnic groups has its own style and traditions of mask making. And lastly, the Lekoni Canyons. Perhaps the country's most famous geological landmarks are the peaks and pinnacles of the Cercle de Lekoni, a circular red rock canyon in the country's southeastern corner. The rocks here have been weathered into bizarre shapes over millions of years. Done most of those countries. Iraq. Okay, Iraq is here. You can see Iran next to it here, Saudi Arabia here, and Turkey there. Here's the flag. So capital is Baghdad. Official languages are Arabic and Kurdish. Currency is the Iraqi dinar. Population of 38.8 million. An area of 437,367 square kilometers. The Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II supposedly built the Hanging Gardens to resemble the mountains of Iran where his wife was from. Yes, Babylon is in modern-day Iraq. So it says here, known as the cradle of civilization, Iraq was one of the places where the planting of crops, rearing of animals and building of cities first began. It's seen everything in its time, including the rise and fall of empires and several recent wars, but has managed to keep hold of its traditions throughout. Between the rivers. The region's earliest civilizations were established in a region called Mesopotamia. This occupied an area of fertile ground between two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Mesopotamia means between two rivers, which still flow through Iraq. The states that emerged here from the 4th millennium BCE onwards would dominate the region for thousands of years. City of Wonders. In the 6th century BCE, Iraq was home to Babylon, the then largest city in the world. Built on the banks of the river Euphrates, it boasted huge stepped temples called ziggurats, magnificent palaces, and according to a legend, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The city eventually fell to conquerors and was abandoned. Its ruins have been excavated in recent times, although no evidence of the gardens has been found. Most people in Iraq still live in the fertile plains between the Tigris and the Euphrates, just as they did thousands of years ago. The rest of the country is dominated by deserts and mountains. Zigzagging ziggurats. Ziggurats were enormous tiered buildings that dominated the skyline in ancient Mesopotamian cities. Acting as shrines to the region's gods, these great brick structures were believed to connect heaven and earth via a series of steps that wound around the ziggurat to the top. Let's do the Marshall Islands then. The Marshall Islands are here. This is Australia, this is Papua New Guinea. They're there. This is the flag. I really like the flag actually. The capital is Majuro. Official languages are Marshallese and English. Currency is the United States dollar. Population of 77,917. And an area of just 181 square kilometres. The breadfruit grown here can be boiled, fried, roasted and ground into flour, while the bark can be turned into clothes and used to build canoes. You can even get a sticky glue-like material from the fruit's juice. With thousands of islands spanning nearly 2,000 square kilometres of Pacific Ocean, it's little wonder that the people of the Marshall Islands are highly skilled sailors and fishers. The country's population is spread out over the 29 main islands, all of them atolls, ring-shaped areas of coral. Bikini boom. Though independent since 1979, the islands were formally controlled by the USA. From 1946 onwards, the US military conducted numerous nuclear tests here, blowing up several large bombs on one of the country's islands, Bikini Atoll. Coincidentally, the two-piece bathing suit was invented around the same time and was named after the atoll because it seemed like a tropical sounding name. Oh wow, did not know that at all. Okay. Let me know where you would like to know more about. I think I can squeeze one last one in. Let's do... I think I've done Thailand before. Myanmar or Burma, which is here next to India, Bangladesh, Myanmar. That's China. Here's the flag. So the capital is Nai Pi Tao. Official language is Burmese. Currency is the Myanmar Kyat. Population of 56.5 million. And the area is 653,508 square kilometres. Kaba Ma Kiei, till the end of the world. The national anthem of Myanmar. Myanmar is an ancient land and in recent decades a troubled one, which has seen many internal conflicts. Thousands of Buddhist golden pagodas are scattered across its mountainous tropical landscape. Elsewhere, the country is home to lakes, winding rivers, mud volcanoes and an abundance of wildlife, including tigers, elephants and monkeys. Golden monuments. The country's shiny gold-capped pagodas are among its most famous sights. Perhaps the most famous of all is the Kyaik Tio Pagoda, which sits on a golden-coloured boulder, which is itself perched precariously on a cliff edge. It looks as if it could be toppled over by a gust of wind, but has remained there for hundreds of years, held in place, so it's said, by a strand of Buddha's hair. Paddle power. The fishermen of Inlay Lake in central Myanmar have devised a unique way of rowing their boats by using their legs. They stand with one leg on the end of their boat to balance and the other wrapped around the paddle to row and steer. The method was adopted to allow the rowers to see over the thick reeds that blanket the lake and also to free up their hand to use their fishing nets. A paste made from the ground up bark of Muraya trees is used as a natural sunscreen in Myanmar. And then lastly, mud volcanoes. Myanmar's Minbu region is speckled with mud-filled craters that look like they belong on the surface of the moon. These natural phenomena are known as mud volcanoes and are created when gases beneath the ground are forced to the surface, bringing with them oozing masses of earth. How fascinating. I love this book. Thank you for the person who commented and said, can we have this book again? We haven't seen it in a little while. I didn't use it because I believed it was cursed. I'm actually being serious. I did 3 videos in a row with it, and each one got completely corrupted and I had to redo them. So I'm kind of terrified. I'm going to check this video straight away after I recorded it to make sure that there's no issues with the sound. I even got to the point where I loved the book so much that I was going to get rid of the book and buy exactly the same one again because I believed it wasn't cursed. But I think I was just not putting the camera and the mic in properly. That could be a very plausible reason. A massive welcome to all the new patrons that I had. I spoke about my patron benefits in the last video, so I'm not going to do it again so soon. But if you want to join us on Patreon and get extra videos every month, early access to videos and chat to me, then you can find out info in the box below. You can also click like, comment, and that subscribe button. And I'll put another video here in a second of one of these from the past, and you can check that out if you're new to the channel. Or if you just want to watch it again, you've seen it. It's fine with me. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you again very, very soon, okay?